Welcome to the Lowdown Podcast. Whether you are a broker, agent, investor, entrepreneur, or just looking to get started in real estate, look no further. Your host, Dustin Thomas and Andrew Fleeman, are business and real estate pros revolutionizing their market. This is your opportunity to get the Lowdown.
What is up, everyone? It is Dustin Thomas here with Andrew Fleeman, and today we are guestless.
Guestless?
It's just us going back to the roots and getting down to the nitty gritty.
That's right, boys.
So what we want to talk about today is Live Oak has just celebrated our second birthday. That was actually really good.
Yeah, that wasn't an actual ad on the board. That was me. So pretty sweet.
That was Andrew Fleeman.
And another thing that we're doing today, which we've never done, so I'm looking right into the camera, is we are shooting a, what do they call it? Vodcast? I don't know. Video podcast.
This is our vlog.
This is the vlog.
Our podcast. We are vlogging now.
So we had a lot of people tell us that, listen, y'all got to video this thing because first off, both of you just so handsome that we have to see your faces.
It's the dimples.
And so we were like, well, we've got to figure this out. So we're trying a completely new software today. First time. So just hang in there with us because we really don't know what we're doing.
Look at me. I am a vlogger now. So again, Live Oak just celebrated our second birthday yesterday. We are super excited. So kind of going along with our grind and leadership series that we've been doing, we want to talk about who Live Oak is, how we got started, and kind of give you guys, our listeners, the background to why we are the way we are. As far as a company, not personally. That would be a completely different podcast.
That one would last a little bit longer, probably.
Probably. We don't have enough time. That would be like a 12-part series.
Yes, for sure. Definitely.
So, Andrew, take us into our icebreaker today.
So this one's a lot of fun because I've got asked this question before, and honestly, I didn't really have an answer to it. But today's icebreaker question is, if money wasn't an issue, what would you, Dustin Thomas, do with your time?
Well, of course, I like to hunt. But if money wasn't an issue, of course I would hunt, spend more time with my family. But I think the biggest thing that I would do if money were no issue is travel. I just love being other places, seeing how other people live, partaking in different cultures. My wife loves to travel. My kids, my oldest child is all obsessed with different countries and cultures and what they do and how they learn. And I think that would just be a great life, man, to just be able to not have a care in the world about your finances or about spending X amount of money on traveling and go wherever you want, whenever you want.
For sure.
What about you, Andrew?
So when I looked at this question and I wrote a little note above money and I put if money and time wasn't an issue, because I feel like you either get one or the other. It's either money or it's time. So I was like, if money and time was an issue, I would probably open more businesses, because if money was an issue, I could open whatever I wanted to. But then that's where like the time factor comes in, because you only have so much time. So that's kind of like figuring out how you make that work, which is super difficult, but it can be done. But I had three different ones: open other businesses, travel way more often, because I love to travel and I feel like we never get enough time to travel. So I would definitely travel. And then my third one, which you will appreciate very much, is hunt nonstop.
Oh, hunt while you travel. Like I want to go unicorn hunting.
Exactly. So one of my favorite things that I want to do, well, not favorite things because I've never done it, but one of the things that I want to do before I die, it's on my bucket list, is take a dove hunt in Argentina.
Oh man.
That's like one of my things. I want to do that.
So we watched a video, I'd say it was a couple months ago. It's probably last year, of these guys in Argentina just like
just stacking them up,
dude. Like literally, they would unload a gun, and the guy would be there handing them another gun. And he'd take it and he'd shoot that one and hand him another one back. And I was like, bro, like that would be just amazing.
I know, just so much fun. It's just like you shoot and just stack them up and then go back to the cabin and do absolutely nothing. So
yeah, just throw your feet up and take a nap.
So that's money and time, if it wasn't an issue, there'd be a lot of stuff I'd probably do.
That's one thing that Lacey hates about when I hunt, especially during duck season, because you got to get up early and you got to get out there, is I get a little tired.
Yeah, just a little.
And she's like, if you're going to hunt, just don't nap all day. And I'm like, oh, okay.
You have to take a nap, though.
Yeah, we got to be refueled, recharged.
That's right. So we're really excited about talking about Live Oak Real Estate. So one reason we wanted to jump off into this today is because we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, and we were really, really excited about it. And Live Oak has grown tremendously over the past 2 years. But we have a lot of people that have questioned us and asked us or commented on our posts or sent us messages or text messages. and they're like, how has Live Oak done this?
Yeah.
Like, how has Live Oak become what it's become? What is so special about Live Oak? And of course, we think it's the most special company in the world, but we're a little bit biased.
DC's our baby.
Yeah, that's right. It is our baby for sure. So we kind of wanted to just take a deep dive off into Live Oak Real Estate, how it got started, what we're all about. So I guess one of the first things we want to talk about is the vision of Live Oak Real Estate. And if you ever hear us say LORE, L-O-R-E, that's we are referring
or low.
Yeah, we're referring to Live Oak Real Estate. So if we say LORE, that's what we're referring to. But we want to talk about the first thing is the vision of Live Oak Real Estate in the beginning. So I'm going to let Dustin kind of hop off into this one because Dustin was the realtor. I'm going to say the realtor because he was. But he wanted to open his own company and kind of brought me in on when we went in together with Live Oak Real Estate. So Dustin, start us off with the vision of LORE.
Well, thank you. It was a dark, stormy night. So actually, it was not dark and stormy. It was very sunny, and it was a beautiful day outside.
That's right.
But a little background again, we've mentioned this in the podcast before. I was Andrew's agent. Andrew and I had went to school together, so we knew each other. And I was like, hey, man, this is my vision. I've always wanted to open my own company. I've always wanted to do things. And if you know me, you'll know that I do not like to do things like they're normally done.
Never.
I like to live outside the box. Like, matter of fact, I don't even like to see the box.
That's right.
When you're like, you got to stay in your lane. I'm like, I'm on a gravel road. Like, I'm out here like jumping corn.
No lanes, baby.
Rows. So I talked to Andrew and I was like, hey man, I'll run the brokerage. I'll run the day-to-day activities of the real estate business. You've got a marketing degree. Your marketing's top notch. You come over and handle the marketing and the financials of the company. And like, let's just be a power team. And, looking back at it now, I know there's no way that LORE could be where we are today without having Andrew, without having, a partner. And the great thing about us is we've been open for 2 years and we have not had a fight.
No.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. But I think our communication has also been one of the key factors in us not doing that.
And I hate to say it like this because it sounds horrible, but your role and I know mine.
Exactly.
And we stay there.
Yeah.
And Andrew's never afraid to come be like, hey man, on your brokerage side, what about this? And I'm never afraid to be like, hey, let me look at the financials, or what do you think if we do about, let's try this with marketing, or
exactly.
The brokerage isn't running the way I think it should be ran. The marketing's not being, and we take that and we're not, okay, yeah. And then we shut our door and we're like, I'm going to cut you.
Yeah.
That's not who we are. So, having a good relationship, if it's off on the level of Andrew and I and our spouses, then it's going to be off at the broker level. It's going to be off at the agent level. It's going to be off at the agent's business level. So
yeah.
Making sure that we're running at 100% and we're a fine-tuned, well-oiled machine passes down to everybody. So I'm getting off, but
oh, you're good. So
vision,
yeah, for like your vision. So say like before I was even in the picture, like I was just out buying apartment buildings and whatever. But before I was even in the picture, what was your ultimate vision of like the real estate company? So we're talking about like the one everyone wants to be a part of.
So again, my thing was I wanted to do something that was different than everybody else. So when I started looking at it from the agent's perspective is, if I paid in say $60,000 to a brokerage one year, I would sit down and say, okay, what did I get from that brokerage for the value of $60,000?
Yeah.
And it always came back to I was doing my own business. I was bringing my own business to the table. I had an office. Yes, I had furniture, but I furnished the office. So like, what was the value that I was getting from that brokerage? So from then I was like, okay, well, I have my structure is I want to be able to keep the agent in mind. Like, what would be the best bet for me as an agent? Like, what would be something I couldn't turn down?
Yeah.
And it's not just about money. So from that perspective, I was like, okay, as a new agent coming in, what would I need? Of course, I'm going to need top-notch training. I'm going to need education. I'm going to need leads. I hope to get so busy that I'm not able to take care of my own paperwork. So I need a transaction coordinator. So having all the tools as a top-notch agent, and I don't want to say I was always a top agent, but I was in our market a top-selling producer year after year consistently. And, again, that training that I got as a new agent is something that no one else offered. Like I was seeing agents come into brokerages that literally the broker was telling them, hey, go out and sell something. We'll have a contract training, which is we're going to sit down and I'm going to walk you through contracts. And that was it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, like we need to, as an industry, we need to be better.
Correct.
We need to educate better.
Because we've got a lot of real estate agents or realtors out there that are thrown off into the industry and have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're completely lost.
Or they're great at marketing and then they get clients and then they're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
What do I do now?
Like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
And so, I was just looking at the industry as a whole and not just the company that I was at or what I had seen from other agents, but just as like, what would be the best? Like, I want to be the best. You've got to be the best. You got to beat the best.
Yeah.
So I looked at, what companies had great training. I was like, okay, well, let me develop. And I always tell our agents your flavor, right? Like that's the way you're going to do it. So when I say develop your flavor, that's what it is. It's okay. I can tell you this. You can look at YouTube videos of people who are doing this. You can talk to 12 different agents at different companies, the way they do things. Everybody does stuff differently. Mm-hmm. And you'll take bits and pieces of everybody's and then you'll put your own thing in there and you develop your flavor. So again, the vision was to be like no one else is and to be agent focused and agent centric.
Well, and the crazy thing about this is a lot of people don't understand like where Live Oak Real Estate started. So at the time I was working on the farm. Working 80 to 100 hours a week.
I was bringing you Route 44 drinks from Sonic.
Exactly, during peak season. And so like when me and Dustin sit down, Dustin was like, we got to figure out how to do this. How are we going to be different? So one of the things that we did was we sit down for, I'm going to say at least, 9 months?
It had to be at least minimum of 9 months.
At least 9 to 12 months, right around that area. And we sit down in his office with a marker board and went through, I can't tell you how many different types of structures to figure out what we could do that would make people want to be a part of Live Oak Real Estate. So I think
just how to make it work.
Exactly. And so like the main thing with that was like, we always came back to the point of like agent focused. And we had an agent the other day say agent centric. And Dustin was like, I love that. So I was
picking that up and running with that thing.
So that was the main goal, was like agent centric brokerage. So that's where we started out. So one of the things that we went along with that was, how do we build Live Oak Real Estate to be an agent centric company that makes people want to come over there? So I think we could probably go, and I want to make a note just this real quick. So like when Dustin brought me on to this adventure, he was like, okay, what are we going to do? And I was like, I don't know. Let's just sit down and talk about it. Like, let's just figure it out. Let's have fun. And so that's what we did. So like my vision of Lure, I will tell you this, I never would have thought in 2 years that we would be where we're at, nor would I have thought that we would have so much that goes along with it. In my life would I have thought that everything that goes along.
The hats that we get to wear.
Well, a lot of agents say, I'll never want to open my own brokerage. And like, if you love people and you love the building portion, you'll love opening your own brokerage. But if you don't like that portion and you don't want to be the HR department, you probably don't need to open your own brokerage.
Do not do it.
So let's go into the next part about Live Oak Real Estate, is why we are structured the way that we are structured. So Dustin, I'm gonna let you go into this part because it kind of talks about like how the transaction fee works and what goes along with that stuff and why an agent really loves to be a part of Live Oak with the agent centric focus on Live Oak Real Estate.
So again, going back to the drawing board is what did I get from that company to pay in 60, 70,000 a year, 20, 30, whatever level the agent is on, how much money they're paying that brokerage, whether they're at a traditional 70-30 split or 80-20 with a franchise fee or, whatever over whatever with a transaction fee. So there's different models out there for everybody.
Correct.
So we are the structure of Live Oak as far as agent splits. We don't really say that we have a split. We're a transaction fee based company. So for us, we sit down and we ran numbers on, okay, what does that transaction fee have to be? Mm-hmm. So we looked at what is our average sales price at this point? What is an 80-20 commission? What's a 70-30 commission? We ran with those numbers and we decided, okay, for Live Oak Real Estate, a $750 transaction fee is what we're going to need to be at.
Correct.
Right. And so for that value, and I feel like that value is great enough as it is.
Yeah.
But let's throw out leads. What is a new agent going to need? And even an experienced agent. Like leads. we just brought some agents over that are very experienced. They do residential, they do commercial, they do land, they do everything. And they were like, you guys provide leads? How much is that? $750 a transaction?
Yeah.
And they're like, there's no way. Like people always tell us when we sit down with agents at other companies or new agents, there's no way that you guys are doing that. There's got to be a catch. Like, what are your fees? Like, yeah, it might be a $750, but you pay $1,500 a month or $3,000 a month for. No, that's not it. It's $750 per closed transaction.
Yeah.
So you have a buyer and seller. $750. It's $750.
Just to note on like the whole lead portion, because I guess from my background, I've always been in marketing. So like, that's just been my background. So for me, generating leads wasn't that big of a deal because I already knew how to generate leads. I had worked in yearbook sales. I mean, that's what we did. We generated leads. But like, it's hard for me to sit down from a new agent perspective, or even a person that has been in another company with no lead source, to come to a company and be like, y'all provide leads. And we're not talking about like crap leads. We're talking about good leads that are ready to buy. So it's really hard for me to sit down and think about the lead process. And honestly, I've never been in another company, so I don't know how it works. Like, I've always been Live Oak Real Estate. So I think the lead is a big deal. But I think another thing that really sets Live Oak apart, and you mentioned it earlier, but was the training.
Yes.
So like, you can have leads all day long, but if you don't know how to work a lead,
exactly,
how in the world do you close that lead?
Well, it's not just that training. So we go into real estate training, we go into marketing training, we go into tax training.
Yes.
So we literally go through not just the day-to-day activities of business and how you should generate business as a new agent, but we go down to the time management portion of training, how to set up a showing, all the way to how to map out those showings, how much time you need to give yourself between showings, how to do buyer consults, how to do listing presentations, and literally like photography. Like, the
smallest things.
Professional photography makes a difference, but as a new agent who's got $100 to $300 per listing,
they don't
to
at
pay
the beginning
somebody to go out and professionally take their pictures. So you've got to know how to most effectively market your listings, market yourself. And we tell people all the time, real estate is not a sales business.
It is not a sales business.
If you think real estate is sales, it's not. It's marketing. You've got to market yourself to get out in front of people. And then you've got to market your listings. And then you've got to market everything.
Everything that goes along with it.
And that's the thing. Of course, you're going to sell properties, but you're not going to walk someone through a house that they don't like and make them love that house.
Correct.
They're going to love what they love.
Yeah.
It's your job to get in front of that person. It's your job to take good pictures and put those listings out to make that desirable.
Yeah.
So, going back again to the structure and the way we are is because we wanted to do what no one else was doing.
Yeah.
We wanted to put more value in the agent's pocket in financials and in business. And that's the thing, again, that we preach to our agents and we try to train and teach our agents is you're an entrepreneur. You're running a business. You're not just a licensed agent.
Yes.
You do not work for me. Your license is hung with me.
You're your own company.
I am the principal broker, so you answer to me, but you don't work for me. You work for yourself.
Exactly.
I don't give you a check every month. If you sit at home all day, every day, and you don't get out and market yourself, and you don't get out and show properties, and you don't get out and list houses, you don't make money. If you're okay with that, I'm fine with that. And that's where I'm different as a broker and as a business owner, a brokerage owner is I care if the agent cares. And
exactly.
I tell our agents all the time, how do you feel about that? Like, are you good with taking that commission? I'm good with you taking that commission. Are you not good? I'm not good. Like, are you happy? If you're happy, I'm happy. Everyone, and we've said it before, everyone has things that make them happy. Mm-hmm. Everyone has different goals. And if you're hitting your goals on your level, I'm so happy for you.
Exactly.
If I think you're worth, you're a $10 million producing agent and you're only producing 5, if you're happy producing 5, guess what? I'm ecstatic that you're producing 5.
Exactly.
So Andrew, our next thing, as far as, we're talking about our structure, but you mentioned that you haven't been at any other brokerages or anything before. So Live Oak is really all that you know. Speak from the agent perspective as far as coming in as a new agent and then as a brokerage owner and learning that side of everything. But what have you realized for you has been the biggest struggle, good, if I can talk, and how have you overcame those struggles?
So for me, on an agent perspective, as a brand new agent, so when I hopped into the business, it was like November, and I closed my first deal at the end of January. So I kind of got rolling, but it took me quite a while to get rolling. I mean, literally 5 terminated deals within the first month that I was there. So it was very, very big struggle. But I think the biggest struggle for me is like learning the time management part of real estate. Because I was talking to an agent the other day, and it's almost like once you hop into real estate, you can't get out. It's like a beast that you cannot conquer. And it's kind of true, though, because you love it so much, because you love helping people, you love listing properties. Like I get a super high out of marketing properties. Like I just love it. But there comes a time where you have to kind of balance life and being a real estate agent. And there comes a time where you have to say, I am going to answer my phone here and I'm not going to answer my phone here. And I even have a struggle like with vacation. Like when I go on vacation, it's like, do I leave my phone or do I take it with me and answer it anytime we calls? Because that could be a lead. I mean, if I don't sell, I don't eat. And so I think as an agent, that's probably the biggest thing for me is just the time management. And that's taken me a long time to learn, and I still haven't perfected it.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I feel like, for all agents who, end up producing and they end up, being a top agent or just selling a ton of real estate, is that balance. Like we've got a guy here who just kills it. Like I think in the last 3 or 4 months, this dude's closed like 25 units.
Yeah.
And so he's single. Now, if he was in my shoes and I was doing that,
It'd be a lot different.
My kid came up to me one time and he said, "Dad, can you put your phone up and spend time with me?"
Yeah, and that literally is knife straight through the heart.
When he told me that, I was like, okay, hold on a second. So I'm doing everything that I'm doing for my family. And my family is the one who's struggling for my time and my attention, and it's not worth it. And
it's not worth it.
Finding that balance. And so the good thing is, going back to Live Oak and who we are, we help you with that.
Exactly. The training that goes along with that. Like and this is coming from a person that's worked for someone for pretty much their entire life. So one thing that I've noticed as a struggle, like with the time management portion, is as an owner and an agent, is I never used a Google Calendar. And I'm coming from a person that's always worked for someone else where a calendar wasn't important.
Yeah.
But like when you did the Google Calendar training and like the time blocking portion, I feel like that is the most important part of being a realtor, is like knowing how to block your time, knowing how to figure out when I need to set showings, when I need to try to generate leads, like all of that. But I think one of the biggest things as an owner for me is systems. And me and you could go back and forth over and over again on systems. So I think the systems portion is the biggest part, because I know for a fact for me, I've never been good at building systems. I'm not a super organized person. So like there came a time with me and you where we sit down, like we had grown to like 20 something agents.
Yeah.
And we sit down and we were like, we've got to figure out systems.
Yeah. Or we going in, we had some systems.
We had systems, but not for the growth.
Well, we had growth plans.
Correct.
And we exceeded those growth plans quickly. And we were like, okay, now we've really got to figure out, systems for new growth.
Right.
And then now in the place that we are with how many agents we have, we're like, okay, now it's time to tweak these systems. Now it's maybe time to add systems.
Right.
Because now we're seeing some stuff from another growth point. And I'll tell you this, and I love that we are Live Oak Real Estate, because you look at what the Live Oak tree is. It's constantly growing. It never dies. It's as tall and wide, deep as it is tall and wide.
Right.
So that's how we are as a company. Is we're never going to stop growing. We our roots are deep, and our roots don't stop growing. So when you look at all that with the growth, you have to take care of stuff differently.
Yes.
Like, the larger the Live Oak tree is, the more nourishment it needs, the more sun it needs, the more water it needs. So for us, those are our systems.
Yes.
Right. The bigger we get, the more systems we got to put in place, the more, and I feel like, we're organized. We're on and I don't know every brokerage out there.
Right.
But I'll tell you, for us, the brokerages that I've been a part of and that agents have come over to Live Oak from, what we've heard is you guys are organized. You guys are on a more professional level. And that speaks volumes to me. It's like, okay, because from my perspective, I'm like, man, I'm not doing enough. Man, our systems aren't good enough. But to others, they are. So to me, it makes me feel 100% amazing, because we've got those in place and they're seen.
Well, I was going to make a note on that. So I sat down with a brand new agent that came over to Live Oak Real Estate literally a couple weeks ago. And so we do our agent onboarding process, and we were sitting down running through all of the different things that Live Oak has to offer. All of our different marketing tools, everything that goes along with that. And at the end of that conversation, he was like, I've never seen anything like this before. And he's been in a franchise company.
Yeah.
Like literally a franchise company. So when I sit down and thought about that, like I wonder how every other real estate company does things, because I thought that we didn't have it together, just to be honest with you. Like, I mean, we have fairly good systems, but like when I sit down with those agents and they were like, I've never seen anything like it, made me feel pretty good, because I was like, well, we must have something pretty good together.
Well, because again, from our perspective is we're like, man, we could do so much better. Like this isn't where we want it. And I feel like that's a testament to who we are, because like we're never satisfied.
Exactly. Yeah.
But other people see that, and other people feel that. And I'm like, man, if that's seen and that's felt, and our agents tell us, which kind of takes us into our next thing is culture, which we don't like to say we have culture. We just like it to be known. We like it to be felt. But for people to know and feel and tell us, hey man, you guys have got it. Like this is rocking and rolling. You got, like, I've never been onboarded like this. I've never had this much training, and I've been here, I've been at 3 or 4 other companies. It tells me that we're doing something right and we're on the right track, which brings us back to the vision for Live Oak Real Estate is we're hitting that.
Exactly.
And we're exceeding that. Like, again, sitting here 2 years down the road, I would have never been like, we're at 40 plus agents. We're at 2 offices, possibly about to open our 3rd office in 2 years.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of that, so me and Dustin sit down and wrote our mission statement and our motto and everything. But like for me, the culture of Live Oak Real Estate, like when you look at our motto, it screams exactly what Live Oak Real Estate is: rooted in community, grounded in relationships, always growing. And like, I feel like a lot of companies, not in just real estate, they get stuck in this limbo. It's like a limbo of, we finally made it, so let's just kind of chill out for a little bit. Let's just kind of slow down and not keep growing and keep going the way that we've always gone.
It's an identity thing.
It is.
Like, even on a personal level, if you don't know who you are, you don't know who you are.
Exactly.
And we know who we are.
Exactly.
That's why we have a motto. We have a mission statement. We have everything that is there is literally, it's not just, these are words on paper to us. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is how we operate.
Yeah. Well, and so just a note on that. So we, this week is Fair Week, which I love the fair. We went to the fair last night, literally kettle corn, like lemonade hangover this morning. But we had an absolute blast at the fair. But we had an agent approach us about the fair. And in my opinion, and this is just me, the fair is not a place you're just going to generate tons of leads. No. Let's just be honest. It's not a place you're just going to generate tons and tons of leads. But for us, when we go back to the motto, the rooted in community, like, to me, that's what we are. We have to be involved in the community. So in my perspective, so you take another company that is going to look to set up at the fair. Say, let's just throw them a table. We'll put a black tablecloth on it. They can, put some
chairs behind it.
Yeah, put some chairs behind it. And I wish I had a picture to show y'all, but you can check it on our Facebook page at Live Oak Real Estate. But so we went like the full shebang.
Nice plug there.
Yeah, for real. But we went the full shebang. We went with a custom tent. We went with a custom table cover, backdrop, everything. And it's
Lights.
because exactly like, when I want our company to be presented to somebody, I want them to be presented as professional as we possibly can. Like,
that might be
it's our
first,
image.
It might be your first and only taste of your company to somebody. Like, it gets them, if you walk by and there's literally a tent with what we've got set up, and then a table with a black top that's, maybe got some Post-it notes or whatever out on the top, like, you're like, well, this company does it.
No, they don't know what they're doing.
Does it a little bit better. So if I'm looking to list my house or I'm looking to buy a house, I probably want someone who's on a different level.
Yeah. And that's my thing. Like, I'm kind of a stickler on that stuff, but I feel like that comes back to the mission. It comes back to the vision. It comes back to the culture. And I'm a huge experience person. Yeah. Like, I love a good experience. When I go to a restaurant, I want the experience to go along with it. When I go to a concert, I want the experience to go along with it. So I feel like as a brand, people should feel our experience when they know Live Oak Real Estate. So, Dustin, it's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years since you look at me.
Oh, I love that song. So it's been 2 years, and we have been through a roller coaster of opening a company and running a company. So how would you say that we stand right now? What do we look like? How do we see ourselves ending 2021? What are you thinking, bruh?
So currently we are right at 40 agents to the T, full T. We have a headquarter office in Jonesboro and a branch office in Paragould.
Yes, sir.
And that's actually where the booth is set up at the fair. We're coming to the NEA fair in a couple of weeks, so we're excited about that, the Jonesboro Expo. So as far as where we stand right now, man, we are looking good. We've actually beat our goal for all of the year. And we actually beat that about a month and a half ago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. As far as units and number of transactions. So literally, when you look at numbers, we've exceeded what we expected this year. And we went in knowing that we would grow a little bit. That keyword there's a little bit. We literally have grown. I think I was telling somebody the other day, last month we added like 12 or 13 agents last month. So, as far as the growth, we're continuing to grow. As far as ending 2021, so this is pretty much the beginning of September. So we've got all of October, all of November, all of December. So of course we're going to keep closing units. We're going to keep closing, keep listing. So, as far as our numbers are only going to get better from what we expected. Bless you. If you can't hear it, but you
Thank
can
you.
see it. So, as far as our numbers, we're going to be fine this year. As far as agents and offices, we'll probably stick to those 2 offices this year.
Yeah.
And as far as agents, our thing is this is another area that we're different is we interview agents here.
Very particular on agents.
Experienced or non-experienced. I feel like to keep our culture and keep who we are, you've got to take care of that in the beginning.
Right.
It's going to be hard to handle something with someone that comes in if you handle it before they ever come in.
Right.
So as far as that, we're still going to grow. I think I would be surprised if we ended the year with less than 45 agents.
Right. Well, it was crazy because I went to look at the numbers when we did the 2-year thing. And when we posted that on social media, like since we have been open in 2019, since we've been open in 2019, I will tell y'all, we have been so busy, so swamped. But the crazy thing about it is we joined the chamber and we were going to do the big ribbon cutting, big, massive grand opening thing. But we've grown so much, we haven't even been able to do that yet.
We keep having to push it back. I think we've set it up like 6 times.
Yeah. But then when I go back and look at the numbers since we've been open in 2019 and we've closed $68.5 million worth of real estate. Like when I go back and look at that number, never in my wildest dreams did I thought we would be there.
No.
Like it just blows my mind. So Dustin, what do you think about Live Oak Real Estate 2022? I need like a boom sound effect on this board.
Boom. Here comes the boom. So of course, I don't think we're done with our office expansions.
Correct.
I feel like, we're at 2 this year, at least 3 next year. As far as number of offices. Agents, of course, with addition of offices, you're going to have the addition of agents. I will stay with our agents between Jonesboro and Paragould. I think we'll grow from 40 to 60, strong 60. And of course, as you grow, you're going to have agents who move to other areas. You're going to have maybe some agents who start their own companies, which is fine. We want our agents to do what they want to do. Again, That's who we are. Like, I want our agents to feel comfortable enough to come talk to me and be like, hey, I'm going to go open my own company. And we're not the kind of people who are like, get your stuff and get out.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need you here. Okay, we've done it. We've opened offices. How can we help you? Let us help you. Don't worry and don't stress, because I've been there.
Yeah.
Don't stress about your transactions, what you're going to have to do. In a transfer, we're here to help.
Yeah.
Right. And actually, I've helped 2 other companies open their companies since we've been open.
Yeah.
So as far as, ours, kind of fluctuating, I think we'll probably definitely have 60 by the end of the year.
Yeah. And what's so crazy is me and
office.
Dustin sit and talked about this, like when we first opened. And we were like, we're going to stick right around like 25 agents.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to stick at. But here's the thing. Like we can't sit and turn down good agents. And like when we find an agent that represents Live Oak and the culture and the vision and everything that goes along with it, like you can't turn that agent down.
No.
Like you can't be like, you can't be.
To.
No.
Yeah.
Like when you have a warrior out there for your brand, you want to sign as many warriors up as you can. I mean, you really want to do that. So, okay, Dustin, let's go to our outro question, which is going to be very, very good today. If you woke up tomorrow morning and gained one quality in life, what would it be?
Do you want to answer that one first?
Yes, I do want to answer this one first, because I think my quality, which I would love to have, is patience.
Yes.
Because I am not a patient person, and I wish I was, but I am just not a patient person. I'm going to tell y'all, when you got a 3-year-old, you need as much patience as you can possibly get, much patience. But I think patience would be mine, just because it's something that I've been trying to work on for literally like 2 or 3 years now. I'm slowly getting better at it. So
good.
What would yours be, Dustin?
Man, I think abs.
Abs would be the number one, huh?
Yeah, I would have them on all of my marketing stuff. Just list your house with me. No, I kind of joked around before. I said I'll have X-ray vision, or like I'll be able to fly. But
yeah,
really thinking about it, just one quality in life. Man, patience is a great one. And it really goes along with what we've talked about today as far, because, we're not going to be able to grow and not going to be able to have to consistently change our systems and stuff without patience. But I feel like it's just, for me, would be, which I feel like it's a very strong asset of mine, but it can always get sharper, is mindset.
Yes.
It's just the
I literally struggled with that this morning. Yes.
And it is because, like, for me in my role, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to sell. Hey, yeah, I'm ready to list your house. Oh, hey, you're ready to buy a house? Oh, we have 5 new agents who want to meet. I need to set up lunch. Oh, my wife is calling. I forgot I got to take my kid here. So it's just being able to focus and say, okay, what do I need to do? Mm-hmm. And instead of being, all out here, put the blinders on. And I had somebody, I consider them a mentor of mine getting into real estate. They set me down one day and like, look, you're great. You're killing it. Put your blinders on and focus. Stop paying attention to all this and focus on where you want to go.
Gosh, that's so good.
Like, I'll sit down and I'm like, okay,
that is so good to me.
And I'll do this. Like I'll sit there and do this because it reminds me, like,
put your blinders on,
when
man.
You're doing this, you're looking at everything. Like, where do you want to go? Look at it and go there. Do that.
Well, and the thing about it is there's so many things in life that get us off track. Like social media, for one. And it's so easy to get off track. But like, there's so many things that get us off track. And I literally sat down and told my wife this morning, like, I've had a rough day. Like, it's been a rough day, like, overall. And like, my mindset was off. And Natalie was like, Andrew, do you realize how many blessings you have right now? And then I just sit there and I was like, dang, I just like punching myself in the head. Like, I don't realize that.
Bro, and even that, like, and it takes other people telling you that.
Yes,
it does.
It does. It takes other people going into
Live Oak, and we could not be where we are without God.
No.
And it's a blessing, and it's only blessings from Him.
Well, and that was one thing I put in our post, like, glory to God for everything He's given us and His continual outpouring of blessings upon our company. Because we couldn't have done it without that. So
there's no way.
Yeah. Well, Dustin, I had a lot of fun today talking about Live Oak Real Estate.
So nice.
I think it's been good to have other people that they're going to be able to listen in, kind of see what's going on with Live Oak Real Estate. And we're super excited about the podcast. We're going to keep doing this, the Lowdown Podcast. So if y'all have any questions about anything, check out our website, listwithliveoak.com. And if you are super excited about the next episode, please subscribe and give us a like because we would love that. So
and leave us some love.
That's right. We need some love for sure. So anyway, we're going to hop off here and check out the next episode of the Lowdown Podcast.
The Lowdown.
We'll see ya.
I can't talk deep. The Lowdown.
Thank you for listening to the Lowdown Podcast. If you want more information about Live Oak Real Estate or the Lowdown Podcast, check out listwithliveoak.com or our Facebook page at Live Oak Real Estate. Make sure and hit that subscribe button and don't forget to share the Lowdown Podcast.